Hello everyone, my name is Karan and I welcome you to our channel that we call Krithas. This is our very first video and our focus is case modding. Now before I tell you anything else about the case, I would like to tell you about the donor case, Zenith PC. Now this is a case a friend of ours had lying around for a while, so we decided to sharpen our teeth on this one. Now that you know about the donor case, let's talk about how we got here. The front panel is made out of acrylic and it houses the large 6 that you see there. We started with making a stencil and then we placed it on top of the acrylic sheet, and then using a fine grit sanding paper we sort of etched the 6 on the panel. Then my partner in crime Prabhujit used an etching pen to carve out the beautiful pattern that you see inside there. The next thing about the front panel is illumination. So we decided to keep it simple and used a simple array of 3 LEDs and placed it at the bottom of the acrylic panel. It is wired from under the case and it connects to the PSU from there, and when lit it illuminates the edges of the panel and the 6. The next best thing about the case was the top panel, and it even became a source of great pride for us, at least for a while anyway. So after watching a few videos, we were certified by the YouTube University to paint professionally. We thought it was going to come as easy as it could because all we knew was primer, main coat, top coat, done. And on top of that, we could not find the primer in a spray can, so we had to use red oxide and we had to apply it using a brush, which inevitably underwent a severe hair fall, and after that, without letting the primer dry, we went ballistic with the white paint. The paint was chipping off. But following a post-apocalyptic theme, we cannot expect to have a white case sitting pretty in a burning city. Fortunately for us, red oxide looks quite a bit like rust. So we used different grades of sandpaper to claw at it, scratch it randomly in order to make it look like it does right now. Next up, we used vinyl stencil to paint the letters on the top panel, expecting a miracle. But the paint was too weak, and when we yanked off the vinyl stencil, a miracle did happen. It took away the white paint with it, leaving a panel of red oxide in the top. The result was something that was better than what we had initially planned. Now, on this improvised top panel, this time around we wanted to have the letters in white. So we followed the same vinyl stencil procedure, and this time we removed the vinyl sheet, the vinyl stencil, before the paint was properly dry. And it was done intentionally to make sure that the letters came out jagged and devoid of anti-aliasing. Coming to the side panel, we had decided to replace it completely, but up to this point we had already dealt with quite a few blows, so we decided to keep it simple. Using a Dremel, we cut out a window in the original side panel. Then we had an acrylic sheet cut to size which we stuck on top of our side panel, which was now sort of a frame. Then we used a combination of reflective tape and black tape to create the quarantine ribbon that you see on the edges of the side panel. About the characters, we had to improvise again. Initially, we had went with all black, but it kind of looked odd when the illumination came from the inside. So we had the same silhouettes cut out in silver, and we stuck them on top of the black ones, just slightly offset in order to create sort of shadows of the character. For the Umbrella Corporation logo and text, it was the same drill. Vinyl, stencil, and a lot of pride. Now pride reminds me of another thing that we became a bit too proud of. NZXT makes cable management bars. We made a cable management panel. Using a heat gun to bend a sheet of acrylic to shape, we wrapped it in yellow vinyl and then used black vinyl to have the biohazard logo on it. Moving on, this particular panel sits on a power supply shroud. Now the problem with these kind of cases was that in them the power supply was supposed to be at the top and we needed it at the bottom just so we could make a shroud. The shroud itself is a result of a botched side window. The Umbrella Corporation logo that we painted was a car crash, so we scratched and messed up the whole thing, bent it using a heat gun and added it on top of the PSU. Now the elephant in the room. Why Resident Evil as a theme? And on top of that, why Resident Evil 6, widely considered to be the worst of the series? So you see, case mods are like instinctive impulses. I mean, different from the ones that you see on Nat Geo during mating season, but they are. They just come and you have to go. Another reason could be that I just happened to be playing Resident Evil 6 when we decided that we need to mod a case. Now, any of the reasons could fit for this particular mod. But anyway, that is it for our first video. We hope you liked it. Like, share, subscribe,